Hey everybody, my name is John Patrick Hayden, and I play Lestrade, Mr. Monk, and others.
Hello, my name is Alexis Brankovic, and I play Joan Watson.
Hi, my name is Leah Schwartz, and I play Sherlock Holmes.
My name is Amanda Baxter. I play Irene Adler, Mrs. Hudson, and others.
I don't know. For me, I think it has little to do um, with the size of a house and more about who you're working with and the material that you get to work on. And so to come back and get to work with Roy Steinberg again and be in the beautiful community and town of Cape May, it's a really, really special spot for me, my family. This was our special spot when I was a kid, our shore point, and it's become a really special spot for us as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say I've had so much confidence in how John has helped us and handled the fights. I feel like they've all been very character driven, very much in the tone of the show, and I've just really appreciated how you have been very communicative about our comfort and how we feel safe. And so I think that because of the way that they've been built, I'm not thinking about that necessarily while we're doing the show. I feel like they've been built in a very solid way, so I feel pretty comfortable every night doing them.
I don't have many. I don't have many. Like I don't have swords or platforms to jump off of. But
You have Doritos,
I
though.
what?
You have Doritos, though.
But I have Doritos. Yes. Um, and and the Doritos also happen to be my favorite prop. So spoiler alert. But with the fight, like I was nervous just because in the script when I read it, it was slap and this and that and the kind of a Lotsie and stuff. So it's been a long time since I have worked in the that way with fights and things like that. So I was a little nervous, but same thing, Amanda. Like coming in and getting to build it really slowly and with your leadership there and kind of slowly building it story wise and not having to come in and be like, okay, there you go. And now you have to know it like every day, being able to work it slowly and build confidence that now I feel like it's some of the more comfortable parts of the show because it's combining story with your body or with my body. So it feels nice to be in my body, not just, like cerebral, it's like that nice mix. So
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, and I think the way you, as Amanda was saying, the way you connected the character and you connected the story to the action just made it all so much easier once we get there to kind of let go of move here, now move here, now move here, and connect it to the character's thought and where I'm going and what I'm going to do. Also, I really appreciated how you brought a sense of play and also an eagle eye to if something wasn't working, you didn't have a preconceived notion about what the fight needed to be. It just kind of evolved from what's happening, and that continued to change
Yeah.
based on what was needed. So
It's been fun for me. This is a blast to work on. As a fight director, this is a joy because I've worked with Roy before, and just to echo what you're saying too, one of the main reasons I come back is to work with Roy again. I mean, he creates an atmosphere that he just sort of forces a confidence inside of you. He just sort of says, yes, keep going. And he did that exactly with the fights too, saying this is their time to play. And it has been a sense of play. I mean, just as much as a character speaks or a human speaks, we also fight. Fighting is also very much part of our language. So it's only because everyone came in with such solid choices about their characters that we could move like that. It was like, there was just a really good marriage of all that. And now I too find that it's like, I don't know, there's still a sense of play inside everything we're doing. I think the fights echo everything else, the blocking and what's going on here, which I think was, again, something that Roy really helped establish right from the first read-through, that it's sort of like we're definitely we're juggling like on fire bowling pins, but at the same time we're going to look like we don't know what we're doing. But these are all masters up here. It's been an honor to work up here on this show with these actors. So, yeah.
I think John kind of started speaking about this a moment ago, but the collaborative aspect that our director and our leader of the ship, Roy, brought to this show from day one. Like he came in with like very strong ideas about it, but he was also open to what we all had to say and to what we all were feeling. And he really allowed us to find those little things and encouraged it and nurtured it very much. So I think that that energy from a leader and a director really it helps. It helps make the show our own, and it makes us feel like we really made something as a team.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that hopefully in most projects that I work on, I mean, very rarely, hopefully the exact idea of what I'm bringing into the room is not the final product, because that means there wasn't a collaboration and there wasn't an availability for that creativity. So I think that the feeling where there are things that were created in the room are brought to the stage is what I am always going for, hoping for, because that means it was entirely our own. And I think that in most cases, playwrights are depending upon what directors and actors and designers bring to the story. And I think that this play in particular is really welcoming of that. Even the fact that like Lestrade's ringtone isn't defined in the script. It's like it could be this, it could be this. What do you think is fun, right? And this script lends itself so beautifully to that, that there's so much that's left up in the air, so that hopefully the synergy of the artists in the room can kind of
Yeah.
play drums a little bit together and figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, in as far as like, I don't think I've ever been in a play where we just showed up and did what was there. I think it'd be very boring. But to your point about this particular thing, actors are constantly bringing their inside jokes to any role. Whether it be the actual verbal or an inside joke that they're feeling emotionally. So there's always a bit of the company involved in each production. This particular production of this show is only going to be able to be seen here because it involves us and our interpretation of this material. And I hope I think that's true, maybe hopefully, of any play that you're walking into. But yeah, the playwright definitely was like, have fun with this. Don't take it too seriously. / it's very serious. / it's not serious. So I think even the opening prologue and the way we're all working here says, hey, look, we're gonna get through this experience together, and so it's less of a audience come in kind of like folded hands. What do you got? And it kind of instantly makes them interact in a way that it feels like we're a team telling the story together. And some of the transitions, they're laughing because they're like, yeah, that's great. Oh, now it's serious. We'll be serious with you. Oh, now it's funny. We'll be funny with you. Like it has a real sort of flexibility, I think, with the audience, which you can kind of feel every night. It kind of forces them to participate.
To your point, I think it's a pretty great time for a piece like that in theater, where we're all getting used to being back in a room together and what it means to, Zoom is wonderful, FaceTime is great, all of these tools that we have now and that we depend on, but there's just some magic there that I think we all needed to ease back into the feeling of feeling safe in that environment, being like, oh yeah, we are all here together, and it's good and it's okay. So I think it's a pretty fun time. Well, Kate Hamill's so smart, and it's a pretty incredible way to bring everybody back together.
Yeah.
I also would say, just to this point, the collaborative nature of this and just the way that it worked from day one, I feel like with Roy and with the four of us, it's just like has been such a treat to play on stage every single night. And I think that, and again, I think this is true with any show, but I think that an audience watching actors experience joy and fun on stage also gives them permission to laugh out loud at the jokes if they want, exclaim at things if they want, and we've had some of those responses, and those are really fun for us too.
Yeah.
I mean, just right off the bat for me, my job in this has been very, very easy because John and Amanda have both created very distinctly different characters for each of their different roles. So for me, it's just it's a treat to watch them transform every night, and I get to interact with these very different people. They just did an incredible job really shaping each person. So I think it makes my job pretty easy.
I forget.
Yeah.
Like I forget, I don't even think about that really because when you all come out, I'm talking to a different person in that way. Of course, it's fun to sort of get to see those shifts every night, and being in your eyes, is really fun, like actor to actors, sometimes when we're navigating something. But like character wise, no, I totally. When you come in as Elliot Monk, I mean it's a totally different person than Lestrade, and when Irene comes in, it's just it's a total shift. So I don't know, how do you enjoy those transformations? I mean, what does it feel like?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I it's one of my favorite things to do, and in a way, having to put on that kind of character, or very distinct characters, gives me a way of building it that I don't know that I would say that it's harder or easier than playing one character. It just takes different tools, and a lot of times using like different vocal variations and physical variations like helps me get out of my head in a way. So I've really enjoyed it. But I have kind of the same experience. I feel like when I'm encountering you guys as like a character, it's like it's character to character. Like, yeah.
Also, separate from the technician as actors, I would imagine there's a technician regarding your backstage life and your patterns as well, and the things that you've rigged and lined up and are very carefully placed in a particular way to allow you to go from one character to another. I got off easy in this one. I'm in my uniform, but what's that been like? I guess because I don't know about it backstage. I know I'm like asking you, but this is fun.
Have pizza, we hang out, we talk about it. We have a great time.
We share like pins.
Yeah.
What's going on back there?
I think to speak to playing the other characters, it definitely feels like you definitely have a feeling, especially with this story, that there's a story that you're telling, like it's a mystery, so you're kind of driving towards this thing. So it definitely feels almost like we're in a band, and I'll come on as bass, and then I got to get a saxophone. So ultimately, all that's like very actor studio, but ultimately you got to keep the music going. Mm-hmm. So everyone's kind of bending towards this new character. So you're definitely only a character if the person that's talking to you has decided that you're a thing. You know what I mean? Like you're only Dracula if someone like goes, "Oh no, Dracula!" Otherwise, you're just this guy in a suit. So it's like fun too to like we all really it's all reaction. We all do bounce. We also we give these other characters like room as we're reacting to each other. And I think that's kind of fun too. You get like a different vibe off people because they're deciding to like invest in this new instrument. But ultimately, it's all just to get this like story out there. And I think that's how I feel about it. It's like you're kind of grabbing this other instrument, being like, now we're going to do this part of the music.
Yeah.
But they're like the main music, and then you come up with that music, and then and hopefully it kind of keeps going. So I think that's the fun part about this show. And that also, playwright-wise, I've been in a number of things where I'm playing multiple characters, and the whole crux of the evening is, wow, look at these people playing all these characters, but it's more just like, it's just so, it's just cheap. And instead, I think the story is so nice that we just happen to be playing characters, but you're going to have one coming up and say, like Stones in His Pockets, it's a great example where it just happens to be two people, but the story is so incredible that it almost evaporates. It becomes like a novel. You start just believing that these other characters exist. And I think that's what's cool about these characters, is that the mystery or the story that we're chasing is so important that as the audience, you're like, yeah, I know there's only 4, but yeah, we'll buy you as this. We're in. It's not like this actor's playing a lot of stuff, which is, you'll get that sometimes in theater where it's like, this hat, and this hat, and this hat, and you're like, yeah, boy, it was cool in like the 60s, I guess, but but now we've moved on. Yeah. So, but as far as backstage, I will say the main thing is I always feel the one thing, only one character. I'll always like finish and be like, "Whew, that was great." I'm like, shit, I have to get into the other character now. You come on stage and be like, "That's done," and there's always one that I'm always like, "Oh yeah, I still have to do this guy." Because you come off and it's a great scene, you had a great moment, and this character's accomplished something with these two, and then you leave and you're like, nope, gotta. Which isn't like I just think that's more funny.
Funny,
It's
yeah.
like kind of like lies, kind of funny. You're like, yeah, oh, not yet, right.
Doritos. Doritos. I get to, I really went for it the other night, too.
Yeah.
I was like,
That was great.
shoveling them in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, I get a little sneak snack,
Favorite.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. I love Lestrade's nightstick baton, his little British billy club, that little guy. It's very much him. It's very much like I don't know. It's very just it really when that particular one showed up, it kind of sealed the deal for him in my mind a little. So I like that guy. It's like it's a billy club, but really it's just sort of a like a pointer in an office. I don't think he's ever used it in a police way at all.
I think my favorite prop might be the chessboard, because it makes so much sense to me in terms of how Sherlock's brain functions, and it just kind of really brings it all together for me, that she's always playing this mental game. It's always trying to think 1, 10, 100 steps ahead. And we do some pretty cool stuff with it throughout the show. It's kind of one of those things that I always kind of draw myself back to. It's helped me, and the theory behind it has helped me kind of figure out a lot of things about the character. So.
And I tell you, darling, that I'd have to kill you.
Great answer.
I can't.
I do it.
There are some great Easter eggs with that chessboard
There are, yeah.
during the show.
Yeah, throughout the show, from like beginning to end.
Different
yeah.
characters. There's a whole thing happening the whole time with this chessboard.
Well, just like my character, I am oblivious to all those things. I am.
And again, it's through even in the play, she's like, this you may have fun with this. This may happen. This could be fun. A lot of the things in the play are written that way. Hey, there's this and this and this, but if you want to try this, that could be fun. But in general, it's this, but have fun. Like there's a lot of like towards the idea, but not like
spoon feeding it.
Yeah.
I think some of the best advice I picked up at a young age was do everything. Just do everything that you can. Every experience you learn. And this is very much a world of hands-on experience. So, and ask questions and reach out and I think that's it. Just go for it.
I mean, I feel like I have no business giving anybody else advice, but I think again, my high school mentor taught me a long time ago that there's no wrong or right way to do your art. And as I've gotten older, really learning that I can craft my own artistic community, I can kind of create my own artistic life, and that person's experience doesn't have to be mine. Mine doesn't have to be someone else. That doesn't make any of that more or less valid. So just really trusting yourself and forging your own path is what I would say.
And I would say that there are a lot of practical things that I could say, but as I've gotten older, it has become so much more about how I want to show up to any given process and how I want to show up to the people that I'm working with. And so probably the biggest things that have been important to me is to show up with joy, to show up with generosity, and to show up with a lot of compassion and self-compassion. And then, whatever building blocks and training you have will be there. But, the mindset around it and showing up to me is key.
I think all of this, and I would want to say, uh, don't worry what other people think. Like, don't worry about, like, feel free to be bad at it for a long time. I think if you truly enjoy it and you have a love for it, there's such a demand too that then you should immediately start delivering or competing or the best in the thing. Or even here, you'll find that it's a whole ensemble piece written by P.O. Bowl and feel like, well, I like you the better. I like this weird thing of like competition. And I would say like it's building on what everyone said about showing up and doing it everywhere and no way to pride. But on top of that, and then feel free just to keep going. Do this project, do that project. Just have a whole bunch of experiences, and don't worry about where you're falling just right at the beginning. I would just keep following the thing that like if it's something that you truly are like feeling that you're passionate about, that up here is your special space, or on film is your special space, or it makes sense to you. Keep doing that regardless if you're immediately the lead or immediately win some who gives competition for blah blah blah, right? It's like find a script, find some friends, and just kind of keep cultivating that, And I think that's the nice thing because you give yourself enough time, and then it starts turning, and you start developing. Like Lexi was saying, this is a hands-on craft. It's not anything you can read about. You can get some advice about it, but ultimately, it's from trying things out in the moment, And yeah, so I say have patience, and if you really love it, keep at it, regardless of what immediately the product is.